Chris Rock is an American comedian, actor, and filmmaker who's recently most famous for getting slapped on stage while hosting the 2022 Oscars by actor Will Smith for a joke he made about his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith.
Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow.
His famous stand-up routines often addressed racial matters, sarcasm, and his life growing up. Due to his comedy chops, his vision, and overall talent, this naturally led him down a path of acting and a successful film career. He credits fellow comedian Eddie Murphy as being his idol even to this day, also giving him one of his first breaks in a comedy club. Welcome to Black and Gold Entertainment. Today, in this video, we'll be finding out an exclusive on how Chris Rock really felt about the assault at the Oscars, what his childhood and early days was like, which Hollywood star considers Rock the funniest man on earth, what famous comedian stole a show from up under him, which he admitted was actually one of his lowest points of his career. How did his 19 years of marriage end up? What kind of music and artists he likes? And much more. Make sure to watch till the end to find out. This is The Genesis. Let's discuss Chris Rock's early days. Christopher Julius Rock grew up in the impoverished Bedford-Stuyvesant section of Brooklyn, New York, son of Julius Rock and Rose Rock, and he is the oldest of 6 younger siblings. His mother was a teacher and social worker, while his father, who died in 1989, drove a newspaper delivery truck. Rock credits both parents for his work ethic and determination. Rock had a troubled childhood due to getting bullied in school from a young age, and he even talks about nearly getting raped at a few points in his life from as young as just 10 years old.
So in 75, Deliverance comes out.
Yes.
I'm 10. And the common thing was for guys to like gang up on one of their friends and kind of try to rape him.
Squeal like a pig?
Squeal like a pig.
And squeal like a pig.
Squeal like a pig was some real shit.
What?
It was Ned Beatty got raped in Deliverance. And that was very common for a lot of shit went down. I never got raped, but there
Were
was
people
definitely...
getting raped or just the we're gonna...
Definitely the attempted rapes were for real.
At like house parties.
At house parties, just like, whatever.
However, despite the trauma of his childhood, he felt he might have a gift for comedy at a very young age. He says, "By the time I was 7 or 8, I wanted to be a comedy writer. When I'd see the credits roll after a comedy show, I'd say to myself, I'm going to write for one of these shows one day." After dropping out of high school at 17, Rock played small clubs in New York, where comedian-actor superstar Eddie Murphy discovered him. Chris points to Eddie Murphy as his role model and inspiration for taking up comedy and acting. Chris recalls in the early days he had a deal with one of the managers from a comedy strip in New York, where if he stacked chairs after the show, he'd let Chris go on late. So Eddie appears one night in the club in 1987. The manager introduces Chris to Eddie. They talk for a while when Eddie says to Chris, "What time you going on tonight?" Chris replies, "I'm not actually going on tonight." Then Eddie affirmatively tells the manager, "Put him on next." And that was that.
So Eddie Murphy played a role in all of this, eh?
Yes. Eddie Murphy's my idol to this day. This is my man. He's the funniest guy I've ever seen in my life.
Did he offer you an appearance in a movie?
Yeah, it's weird. I had a deal with Lucian Hold, the manager of the comic strip, where if I stacked chairs after the show, he'd let me go on late. So I just went to go stack chairs, and as I get to the club, Eddie Murphy comes out of the bathroom, right? And I didn't just see Eddie Murphy. It was Eddie Murphy in 87. I mean, Eddie Murphy's cool now, but in 87, it was really Eddie Murphy, man, with like leather suits and like, it was like Elvis, man. He had like a ring on, leather gloves with diamond rings on, and it was like, you know what I mean? Like the guy from, like I met the guy from Raw, like that Eddie Murphy. I didn't meet Dr. Doolittle. I met Eddie Murphy. Okay? So the manager introduces me to Eddie. And Eddie goes, hey, what time you going on? I was like, well, I'm not really on tonight. And then Eddie looks over at Lucian and goes, put him on next. And it was, yeah.
Chris remembers being excited and a little nervous, especially getting up in front of Eddie, his idol. However, he did great and Eddie thought so too. Chris remembers earning his first money from comedy. He says, in the beginning, it just meant I could buy more food. I swear to you, I was like, wow, I can get 2 slices now? When you've been on a ghetto diet your entire life, you're happy to get a large soda instead of a medium. In 1985, Chris was in line to buy tickets to an Eddie Murphy stand-up performance at Radio City Music Hall when he saw an ad for an open mic night at the club, Catch a Rising Star, in the newspaper. He auditioned and scored his first big gig. Rock described his style as half rapper, half preacher. He says, my grandfather was a preacher, and when I'm talking to an audience, I am doing the same thing he did, giving people a new perspective on their lives. He landed his first acting role in Eddie Murphy's film Beverly Hills Cop 2 in 1987, earning $600 for the role. After the second role in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker in 1988, Rock got his big break by making a spot in 1990 as a Saturday Night Live cast member. Rock spent 3 unremarkable seasons on SNL and has had many laughs about it in hindsight. He left the show in 1993 to join the Fox networks in Living Color, which also starred Jamie Foxx, Jim Carrey, a few members from the Wayans family, and many more. In 2019, he joined longtime friend and comedian Adam Sandler, who was hosting that night, to joke about how they were both fired. Rock says, I was fired by NBC. I went on in Living Color and they took the show off the TV 3 weeks later. Rock admits that the lowest point of his career was the night about a year after he left SNL, when superstar comedian Martin Lawrence stole the show from up under him in Chicago. He recalls, when I got there, I realized it wasn't even a fight. People laughed so hard that the building shook. People were crying, standing, stomping their feet, screaming with laughter. I was terrified. It was like watching somebody, quote unquote, fucking your wife with a bigger dick. This situation prompted Rock to really buckle down and hone his craft.
Anyway, Martin, I normally didn't even watch opening guys. And I'm in backstage.
Is that a club?
Nah, it's at this place, the Airy Crown Theater in Chicago.
In Chicago, yeah.
And I hear fucking, I think it's a fight or some shit. It's like, oh man, what's going on in the crowd? Like, fucking coming to the side of the stage and people are fucking laughing harder than I've ever seen people laugh in my life. Like they're hurting themselves. Like
yeah.
Like you people don't remember how fucking crazy this Martin shit was.
He was a beast.
That motherfucker was a beast.
Yeah,
I mean, he can still.
After writing and appearing in the movie CB4 in 1993, he covered the 1996 presidential campaign for ABC's Politically Incorrect. After, Rock appeared in the first of his HBO comedy specials, Big Ass Jokes, in 1994, which won a Cable Ace Award. Soon, Rock found his popularity as an actor and comedian beginning to fade. Let's talk about the heyday of his career. In 1996, Rock went on the road to play in small clubs to try and reignite his career. He mastered his comedic repertoire, touching on subjects often considered taboo: race relations, drug addiction, and black poverty, simultaneously revealing the humorous aspects of some of the more severe, painful truths of the black experience.
fun to be doing a show in New York, New York, New York, the home of the crack priest. That's right, we got a crack priest in New York. It's right, you know what I'm talking about. The priest was recently caught smoking crack while writing a sermon. I'm not even making this up. Now, what the hell does a crack sermon sound like? And on the sixth day, God created crack. And on the seventh day, he sold his VCR. So, hey, Riddick, drop down. Give it 20. Not 20, it's push up $20,000. Speaking of boxing, Mike Tyson, my man Mike, turned down an offer to endorse St. Ives malt liquor. St. Ives malt liquor. And Mike said, hey, that's how I got fucked up the first time.
After a positive reaction while touring, Rock again appeared in a HBO special, Bring the Pain, in 1997. It won Emmy Awards and brought Rock worldwide fame and critical acclaim. With newfound popularity, Rock starred in the television series The Chris Rock Show in 1997 to 2000 and wrote the best-selling book Rock This in 1997, co-starred in the film Lethal Weapon 4 in 1998, and provided the voice for Rodney the guinea pig in another Murphy movie, Dr. Dolittle, in 1998. In 1999, Rock starred in his third HBO comedy special, Bigger and Blacker. Then he appeared in a series of films including Nurse Betty in 2000 and Down to Earth in 2001. He later starred with Anthony Hopkins in the thriller Bad Company in 2002. In 2003, Rock made his directorial debut with Head of State, which centered on a presidential election. In 2005, Rock co-created a television series based on his childhood and life growing up in Bed-Stuy called Everybody Hates Chris in 2005 to 2009. Starring Tyler James Williams, Terry Crews, and Tashina Arnold, the show was a success. That same year, Rock hosted the Academy Awards ceremony. There, he slipped in one great joke. He said, "If you want Russell Crowe and all you can get is Colin Farrell, wait." That was a remark for Oliver Stone pursuing Crowe for the title role of Alexander in 2004, but ended up casting Farrell in the role instead. The film was one of the most criticised movies that year. In 2008, Rock began his first ever tour of Britain. He placed a world record for having the largest audience during a live comedy performance, 15,900 people in London in May 2008. Mario Barth broke the record in July 2008. Let's talk about Chris's movie career. Rock's most important films included The Longest Yard in 2005, where he starred alongside Adam Sandler, and the animated Madagascar series in 2005, 2008, and 2012, providing the voice of a zebra. In 2007, he co-wrote, directed, and starred in I Think I Love My Wife. He then appeared in Death at a Funeral in 2010, a comedy about a chaotic funeral, and Grown Ups in 2010, where he, Sandler, David Spade, Kevin James, Salma Hayek, Steve Buscemi, and several other comedians played high school friends reuniting as adults. A sequel followed in 2013. In 2014, Rock wrote, directed, and starred in Top 5, about a comedian struggling to transition to a more serious role. The film was acclaimed for successfully situating Rock's cutting humour in a moving, believable narrative. In 2016, Rock signed a $40 million contract with Netflix to stream 2 new live stand-up comedy specials. In 2020, he played a 1950s mob boss in season 4 of the TV anthology Fargo. He also appeared in Spiral in 2021, a part of the Saw horror film series. Oscars.
Yes! You know, people really care about these Oscars. Oh, yeah?
In 2016, Rock was the host of the Oscars ceremony, which had drawn calls for a boycott when black actors didn't receive any nominations in the acting categories. Rock was widely praised for handling the controversy he addressed throughout the show. This was also the year when actress Jada Pinkett Smith boycotted the awards. Chris joked, "Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties." I wasn't invited. He was also the host at the 2022 ceremony, which I'm sure you were all well aware, where he made news after a joke about actress Jada Pinkett Smith's hair. It offended her husband, actor Will Smith, who proceeded to walk on stage and assault Rock by slapping him in the face. Will then swore at the comedian in a very ill-tempered, infuriated fashion when he sat back on his seat, shouting,
Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
It was a G.I. Jane joke.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
I'm going to, okay?
Chris was stunned and shocked, however kept his composure and continued with the show. Shortly after, Smith won the Oscar for Best Actor for his lead role in King Richard. Will has apologised to Chris since then. But what did Chris really feel and think about the assault and the apology? Rock is on tour at the moment, and he actually made fun of Will's apology and actually compared Will to infamous former CEO of Death Row Records, Suge Knight, who's currently in prison for a murder charge. Rock says, everybody's trying to be a victim. If everybody claims to be a victim, then nobody will hear the real victims. Even me getting smacked by Suge Smith. He continues, I went to work the next day. I got kids. The Source magazine says he is not concerned with the Smiths at the moment. He's touring and preparing for a comedy special. So it seems like Rock clearly doesn't respect Will's apology and currently has no thoughts of reconciling. Let's talk about Chris's family. His first daughter, Lola Simone, was born on June 28, 2002, and his second daughter, Zara Savannah, was born on May 22, 2004. Before the first daughter was born, Rock shared that, in all honesty, he'd like to have a girl. He says, I think I'd be too hard on a boy. In 2014, Rock filed for divorce from his wife, Malak Compton. I was a piece of shit, he admitted a few years later, talking about the breakdown of his 19-year marriage, admitting that he cheated on his wife with 3 other women. Later, he was in a relationship with actress Megalyn Echikunwoke from February 2016 to March 2020. Overall, Chris Rock has been nominated for 19 Emmys and won 4. Rock is also a 3-time Grammy Award winner. On March 12, 2003, Chris received a Hollywood Walk of Fame star. Rock was voted number 5 in Comedy Central's 100 Greatest Stand-Ups of All Time in 2004. Chris also uniquely has a rare distinction of being in 2 movies that opened on the same day in the US, The Longest Yard and Madagascar, on May 27, 2005. Both movies stayed at the top 2 spots at the box office. The following weeks became members of the $100 million club and even knocked down the last installment of the Star Wars saga, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Here's some interesting things about Chris. He enjoys a wide range of music, including Jay-Z, Red Hot Chili Peppers, DMX, Boy George, Elvis Costello, Eminem, Smashing Pumpkins, and of course, the one and only Prince. Despite having a pool in his home, Rock didn't learn to swim until he was 55. And Adam Sandler, one of Rock's closest friends, had this to say about him. Rock is one of the funniest guys I've ever seen. He makes you think straight. His comedy's just genius. So what do you think about the star of our video, Chris Rock? Share your opinion in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe so you don't miss an upload and you can enjoy all the excellent content we send your way. Until next time, this is The Genesis.